quick discussion about, for this new CMA on your team, Denitra, who you've not met yet, you don't really know anything about her, just what would be going through your mind in terms of the information you really want to have and want to be able to learn about her in order to effectively manage and develop her over the course of the next several, 2-3 months or so. So we're going to come back to Denitra in just a minute, but first I want to share one of the key points for this session that I really want to emphasize, which is that great managers, regardless of who they're working for or what they're working on, know where their people's strengths and areas for growth are at any given time. And that in order to reliably know that, you need to track that information. You need to have a way for understanding, at this point in time, here's what this person is doing effectively, and here's what I see as this person's area for growth. And when you're managing several people, it just becomes that much more important that you have a really thoughtful, methodical way for capturing that information so you know the performance of your team and so that you can share that with your manager, so that you can think about where does it make sense to really pull in the CC at my institute, the CMAC at my institute, so they can help me provide the right level of support for my team. One note is that this is something that we do across the entire organization here at Teach for America. Our full-time team does this with those of us that are on institute staff for the summer. We should be doing it for the people that we manage. They should be doing it for their core members, so they know at any point in the summer, where is this core member's strength? Where is this core member's area for growth? And of course, at the very end, we want our core members to be doing that for their students in terms of their academic performance. So really, the way I thought about this was that we are all managing in so that we get to that center point where we know that our students are getting the very best that they deserve from people that are being really deliberately and very effectively coached and managed so they're as effective as possible in their roles. I'm going to pause here for a minute and also talk about why we're talking about this today. Because again, this is another session where those of you that were in the same room last year or in previous years, you haven't heard this before. You haven't heard us really explicitly discuss how to effectively evaluate and track our staff member performance. So, each summer, our design team at Teach for America, the teacher preparation design team specifically, does research to say, you know, really, how did we see outcomes change in terms of student achievement and in terms of core member and staff effectiveness as a result of the work that we as a design team did this past summer. And we also are looking ahead to say, what does that mean our priorities should be moving forward? So I was really fortunate enough last summer to be able to work on the research that was being done around school director effectiveness, and specifically how effectively our school directors were managing their staff. So I was able to travel to 3 different institutes. I shadowed, I think it was 7 school directors. I spoke with managers of school directors. I spoke with the people that school directors managed, just to really get a sense of what was happening. You know, how are our SDs managing this summer at Institute? Then we had all of this great data that we collected at the end of Institute from core member end of Institute surveys, from staff member end of Institute surveys, from our IMT debriefs that each IMT does at the end of the summer to really think about what went well and what are our areas for improvement. So the big learning that we had coming out of this particular research study this past summer was that, first of all, SDs were more effectively managing their staff than we had ever really seen before at Institute. So that, I think, is a great thing. We put a lot of time and a lot of effort last year into overhauling some of the training sessions for school directors. With that said, we saw that there is still a big area for growth, which is just in how effectively school directors were aware of their individual staff members' performance. Like, can a school director say, you know, for example, in week 3 of Institute, this CMA of mine is doing really well in this particular area, and this is her area for growth. And then most importantly, as a result, here's what I'm going to do about it. So we really saw school directors struggling to be able to take strategic action as a result of the information they knew about their staff members' performance. So as a result of that, again, we prioritized this year focusing on school director effectiveness, specifically as it relates to this idea of evaluating and tracking staff member performance and making smart decisions about how we're supporting our core member advisors, our CSs, our LSs, our SOMs as a result of that information. So I just want to sort of pause again and see if there's any questions about what I just explained in terms of why this is a priority for us and why we're spending time talking about it today.